So, Priyanka, my first question to you is, ma'am, during COVID, the major challenges were production slump, okay, supply chain disruptions, and many more. But what do you think are the current challenges we need to be tackled soon so that the production growth can be revived soon?
Yeah, sure. I think this is a very good question, especially in terms of the current uncertainty that we are seeing. So, the pandemic has demonstrated how connected the world is at this moment, and the networks of people, businesses, and the modes of transportation that order and manufacture items are being used and get them to warehouses, stores, or even directly to our doors have been, disrupted by several bottlenecks. And I would say that as living expenses have increased, like workers have demanded high salary raises to offset the effects of inflation on their paychecks. So I would say that a household's ability to afford food has been severely
Yeah.
impacted by factors like inflation, I would say, and consumers like they have anticipated the need to significantly focus on the spending cuts and has created the uncertainty in the market for goods and
Hmm.
services. Um, Also, owing to the rising cost, there is a labor unrest across the geographical regions, which is adding up the pressure on the supply chain. And many workers across the industries are striking for various reasons, which would cause the further disruption to supply chains. Like, along with that, coupled with increased e-commerce demand since the start of the pandemic, the
Yes.
operations are,
Hmm.
becoming increasingly strained for many businesses.
Yeah. So, there are, as per some media reports and analyst report, but somehow the report is giving positive scenario as well as negative scenario, because as per a latest global research report, global semiconductor revenue witnessed a growth of only 1.1% in 2022. So, do you agree with the statement? If not, where do you think the global growth and production currently stands? And also how India is moving with the growth?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I would say that I agree that the global revenue observed the growth of 1.1% in 2022.
Hmm.
However, there is an increase in the number compared to the last year, which was around $600 billion.
Yeah.
But in all, there is a decline owing to the uncertainty of global economy and
Hmm.
also the war that we see. Along
Yeah.
with that, the surge in the demand of consumer electronics, which is adding up to the total growth. Also, like when we combine the growth of global, major 2025 semiconductor businesses, the
Yeah.
market witnessed to be, climbing with approximate rise by 3%.
Yeah.
And in addition, like major vendors, they have contributed majority of the market revenue. We can say about 70% globally. And when we talk
Hmm.
about India, India is definitely moving further significantly in this field.
Hmm.
With the support of the government initiatives
Yes.
and the organizations being collaborating on the same.
Okay. So when we speak of, like advanced semiconductor packaging, as you know, it is gaining huge prominence internationally. Okay. But there are certain technical and market challenges like, investment and skilled workforce. Came some reports. So how would you highlight the importance of packaging and what are the requirements to boost the advanced packaging sector?
Sure. So, I would say that advanced packaging has come into light in the coming years, and it is definitely facilitating semiconductor
Yes.
businesses to bundle mature and leading edge chips into an integrated system
Yeah.
for applications of both types, and this is eventually
Hmm.
resulting
Yes.
into a lowest cost, I would say. One trend that we see is towards the heterogeneous integration,
Yes.
which is empowering companies to combine multiple smaller chips rather than just producing a single giant one. Also, when we talk about the heterogeneous integration,
Yes.
it may result in significant cost savings
Hmm.
because larger chips like they frequently have poorer yield, and with the decline, they typically increase in the chip size, I would say. And when you talk about the advanced packaging market, it is, globally it has been estimated worth around $18 billion of dollars by 2026. So it is predicted that to be worth more than 40% billion,
Yeah.
$40 billion, and which is accounting for about 40 to 45% of packaging sales.
Yeah.
Uh, and or like although cutting edge foundries are responsible for the advancements in packaging,
Yeah.
various innovative approaches are opening doors for participants along the value chain.
Okay, ma'am. So, the government of India has already unleashed rupees 76,000 crore PLI scheme for, semiconductors. And there are additional schemes like, specs to boost the ESDM sector. So, in this regard, what are your expectations from the Union Budget 2023-24? So, do you have any recommendations to the government?
I would say the investment is initiative that was taken from by the government, and the investment was majorly done with the focus on making India a global hub of electronic system design and manufacturing.
Yeah.
So considering this, the budget may have focused on driving the long-term strategy
Yeah.
for developing a sustainable semiconductor and display ecosystem,
Yeah.
which is morely focused on setting up a specialized and independent like India Semiconductor Mission. So
Yeah.
this initiative should, in the coming years, propel innovation across the semiconductor industry and help in building the local capacities to ensure that the digital sovereignty of India. So I would say in the coming times, the government may facilitate the support from capital and technological partnerships at an accelerated level.
So, you as a research analyst and as your organization, your research association, your research institute is undertaking any key initiatives, to boost the sector, or are you undertaking? You have already undertaking a lot of key initiatives in the semiconductor ecosystem. So, do you like to highlight any recent of your studies or case studies, and also some of your upcoming initiatives?
Sure, sure. So, like we are, rigorously working in the semiconductor sector, and our analysis and the
Yeah.
work along the years, we see that, like when we talk with the various top leading vendors, we see that many, vendors in the space, they are rethinking on strategies, various critical strategies from areas such as technological leadership, long-term research and development happening across this space. Also, ecosystem like talent ecosystem skills, enhancing those skills. Also, increasing the overall manufacturing and delivery capacity are some of the strategies these vendors are looking towards to stay up to the competitive market. And like we see that there are many dependencies along the value chain because no local market possesses all the capabilities needed for the end-to-end semiconductor design and manufacturing. So a mutual convergence of expertise, I would say, comes into play at this point where many organizations are sharing resources such as electricity supplies, even though they are competitors, due to the reason that this is lowering their overall cost. And many automotive OEMs and other businesses, like they are focusing on just-in-time ordering. They have begun ordering more chips, so they may increase the inventory and have plenty on hand. So we are analyzing the market, like talking with each vendors, understanding what focus they have towards the market, what growth, how they are contributing to the growth of this market. Several players, like they have increased their semiconductor stock levels to ensure supply in response to uncertain trade
Sure.
trends as well. Yeah.
So, speaking of your key initiatives, what are the latest technology innovations you are looking forward in the semiconductor industry, and what are the kind of upcoming chips which you think will be a game changer?
Sure. The decreased time to market has emerged one of the important priorities in the semiconductor business,
Yeah,
which is becoming day by day becoming more and more solution centric.
yeah,
So semiconductors such as memory chips, they have become a central part and a crucial prerequisite for any proposed ventures in the emerging technologies. So these technologies may include IoT, Internet of Things, smartphones that depend on AI, 5G, or the entire automotive industry. So I would say the deep learning and artificial intelligence have very practical uses across the industry, but the advantages of these technology has multiplied for companies involved in the semiconductor industry. So there is a need for increased revenue and demand for the chips and components needed to run the neural networks with the use of this artificial intelligence and deep learning technologies. Also, lowering
yeah.
manufacturing cost by leveraging AI to improve the manufacturing process and automating the quality assurance process as well. So, like I would say that although general purpose chips now perform well enough to launch a new generation of AI technology,
Yeah.
they are unable to keep up with the exponential growth in the amount of data that AI systems process. So this has led to the development of algorithmic specific chips for hardware based acceleration.
Okay. So after speaking of technological perspectives, what is the future of semiconductor industry in India? How do you conclude?
Uh, Definitely, I would say the semiconductor business has a very promising future, and it is expected to develop significantly through 2023 and beyond. With improved memory pricing, progress is propelled by laptops, mobile phones, servers, smartphones, homes, wearable technologies, gaming, accessories, Wi-Fi access points. So all these are contributing. Additionally, as capacity has increased, pickup speed like this has accelerated the speed in the upcoming years, where IC shortages will definitely lessen. Also, the worldwide semiconductor sector has remained resilient with revenue growth of about 7.5%, with the expectation to exceed like 480 billion mark in the coming years. So despite the economic crisis and the global pandemic that we see. And lastly, I would say since the semiconductor market is anticipated to expand by around 16% in 2022, and it would definitely reach excess volume by end of 2023. So in the meantime, the sector will witness the expansion of the memory chips, uh, not just memory chips, but other chips as well. And also this is expected to be amongst the accelerating semiconductor category.